I have been using the Costin Horseshoe for over 12 months on a number of horses, and every horse instantly improved in its movement. Where horses have a lovely soft movement when they go barefoot, by the time you start riding them more and they wear their foot off more, they get more cautious on their feet. If you put a steel shoe on, that helps with the wear and tear, but it often alters the horse's way of moving because a steel shoe does not allow for a soft sliding landing. Whereas the Costin shoe creates a bit more shock absorption. It's softer for the horse to go to and a bit closer to its natural way of landing its foot on the ground. The first time I saw Steve's shoe, the information and the way it looked made sense to me. Because to me that was giving the horse an opportunity to have a more natural landing, more natural shock absorption and still prevent the foot from early wear and tear due to repetitive training. As we breed quality warm blood horses, they have naturally very good movement, and we actually don't want to alter that movement by putting the weight of a steel shoe on, or restrict the spreading of the foot by having a steel shoe. And we have that happening. We had horses that were on Steve's shoes before, they were doing fine and the foot had a beautiful shape, and after that, if the horse went back to a steel shoe, the foot would get more contracted and more straight and lost that flexibility. It even would diminish in size, it would become more narrow, and we have records of that and measurements of that. So we're so excited to get a variety of sizes in Steve's shoes, because the horses do land a lot better and a lot more natural on it. Plastic shoes in the past worked well in the fact that they were also broad and they had little weight, quite similar to an aluminium balance shoe. But they would get very slippery and they would crack. And that was the problem with those plastic shoes. So often we only use those shoes for a short term and for therapeutic purposes. But for sport use, and especially when it comes to jumping or eventing, I would not pick those plastic shoes for that exact reason. Steve's shoe has so far proven to hold its shape better and to hold a certain amount of grip on the ground better and not wear off that much. The ribbles in the shoe are actually still there after a month of training. One of the older horses that we had in training here, which is your typical ex-race horse, now owned by a hobby rider, was on steel shoes and really showed his age. He was stiff, arthritic, stepped short. The day we put the plastic shoes on, he would move so much better, instantly. Now, after having had him on the shoe of Steve for about 6 months, the foot shape is nice and symmetric, it is broader, he has better shock absorption in the way he lands on the ground, he's much more regular, and he rides like a normal horse in its prime.